Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome to week 5, health. We haven't been doing health this term, but we are up and running today. And we're starting from lesson 1. We're starting from our second unit, which we haven't really touched on since we did our first unit all the way back at the start of term 1. So our second unit is called Let's All Be Active. And this is the sheet that we are looking at here. So this will be included, which is a basic outline of today's lesson. We're going to have 4 lessons in health this week. Now, it's a focus that we get these done because coming back the week after, in week 6, when we're all back, we're going to be moving straight into a quick little assessment for health, and then health is going to be moved to the side in terms of this unit. So, big focus on that this week. Now, what we're doing in this is, if we follow along on our sheet here, we can see that students will review their physical activity choices and reasons for participation. So why do you participate? Explore different physical activities, including those from Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander people's cultures and Asian cultures as well. So we're going to do a bit of explanation and a bit of exploration, I should say, about different types of physical activity and different types of ways of being active in different cultures. That's really important as well. So let's move into our first sheet, which is our sheet called My Physical Activity, which is the one we'll find here. So today, it says, read the following definition of physical activity. What is physical activity? Physical activity is a broad term, which means a wide term, that includes playing sport, fitness activities, exercise, activities such as dance, yoga, tai chi, everyday activities such as walking to work, household chores, gardening, and many forms of active recreation. Think about the physical activities you have done in the past 3 days. Write down the type of physical activity in the table and place a tick in the appropriate column to show where and who with. Sorry, my lips are a little bit dry today. Use the code in the last column Y to record your responses. So we can see here that we have type of physical activity, where, so was it home, school, community, we can put a tick in the appropriate box. Who was it with? Was it alone, with a friend, or in a group? And why did we do it? Did we do it for fun? Did we do it specifically for exercise? It could have been a couple of things. Was it a chore? Was it training for sport? And was it active travel? Now, you can have a couple of those different codes in there as well. I'll give you an example about how we might do that. So you can do it obviously in the Word document, or you can print this off and do it in hard copy as well. So let's have a look here. So type of physical activity. What have I done in the last few days? Well, Sunday morning I went for a surf, so I'm going to write surfing. Okay. Where was it? Was it home? Was it school? Or was it community? Well, that one was out in the community, so I can't actually put a tick in here. I can if I add a symbol. But rather than getting too fancy, we're going to put yes. Now, you can put a tick or you can put yes. It's up to you. Was it alone, with a friend, or in a group? It was with a friend. Put yes again. And why did I do it? Was it fun? Exercise, household chore? Was it sports training, or was it active travel? Active travel would be something like cycling to a place or running to a place to do something at that place. For me, it was a couple of things. So it was both fun, a couple of spaces, and it was exercise. It certainly wasn't a chore or anything else as well. So you can see that table's reasonably full. Okay. Now, we've been kind of limited, haven't we, with our lockdown and what we've been able to do out in the community and what sort of activities we've been allowed to do or permitted to do. And those things are starting to ease off now, which is good. But I guarantee there will be something that you've done physical. And if there hasn't, if there hasn't, maybe this can serve as a little bit of a reminder that we need to be a little bit more physical because we know the benefits that has for our body. Can you fill out that table for me, please? Or at the very least, I want you to think of at least, you can do more, at least 3 in this table for me, please. Okay, I'm going to delete that out there now because otherwise it will get cranky with me if I try to save it. Moving on to the next part, it says, look down the columns for the most ticks and answer the following questions. Firstly, where do you do most of your physical activity? And remember, our 3 options were home, school, and community. Do you do most of your physical activity alone or with others? Now, that will depend upon what you chose to tick there. And what is the most common reason you participate in physical activity? So which one of these is the most common, or the one that we saw pop up the most in terms of why you actually do that physical activity? Moving into the second part of this, it says, use this sheet when you interview a partner about physical activity. Here's our second sheet here. It says, Part 2. The diagram represents you and your family as part of a community. A community is all the people in a specific locality or location. So it's everybody in small little towns or suburbs and that sort of thing. That's your community. Draw a stem from the me circle and write down the physical activities you do in a community setting. These could include walking to the shops, participating in organised sport or playing in a park, things you do out in the community or involving the community. For the my family circle, write down all the physical activities members of your family do in the community. Oh, excuse me, sorry. So things that your family do. So here it's things that we do ourselves in the community. Here it is things that my family do out in the community, and then the community in the community is all the physical activities that where groups are involved out in the community by others that are in the community. So what that means is here, this might be something like I go to football training, or I go for a run, I walk to the shops. Here, this might be something like my sister goes and does ballet lessons with her at her ballet studio. And for the community, it might be something like I see a local group of men playing soccer on a Sunday or something like that, people that are in the community. So you can fill out those as well. Once you've done that, it says after you've written all the information, answer this question. How does your community provide opportunities for different groups of people to participate in physical activity together? So basically that means what sort of physical activity options are available in your community? Are there lots? Are there a little? And which ones maybe would you be interested in? So that's that sheet there, and here is the chance to write that on those lines. I know it's not set up really well, this sheet. It's a little bit funny with the format, but that's okay. Once you've done that, we're going to move into this second sheet. This is still lesson 1, remember. So it says physical activity alphabet. So it says in groups of 4, but we're not going to do it in groups of 4. Look at the following alphabet and place your initials next to the activities you have experienced. Share your experiences with these activities with others in your group. Some of these activities come from Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander people's culture or Asian culture. Excuse me. Sorry. Circle those activities you think come from Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander people's culture or an Asian culture. So here's a list, an alphabetic list. You're just doing this on your own, but then you're going to go back and actually circle the ones that you think come from Indigenous culture and those you think come from Asian culture. So we have all sorts of different stuff in here. Aerobics, bushwalking, canoeing, dubby, idor, football, gardening, hula hooping, all sorts of things, and starting with different letters in there. So what I would like you to do is go and put your initials next to each of them, maybe just put a tick next to each one that you have experienced, whether it's playing it officially or even just playing it at school or doing it with a friend or something, and then put a circle around those that are come from Indigenous culture, and maybe those that come from Asian culture you might underline or do something a little bit different. Guys, that's the entire activity for today in understanding diversity within different physical activities. Remember, this is the sheet that we were working off. That's lesson 1. I'll see you in lesson 2. Bye-bye.